Hi, I'm recording this video for my computer science C# class on my final project, which is a game called MadLine. This high score right here is actually well, to start off with, this high score right here is pulled off directly from a file called highscore.txt, which has the high scores right here. Alright, and then if you go over here, this has the main buttons: start game, how to play, and quit. So before I get into all this, let me just explain I underestimated the amount of time that it would take to make this. I've put in about at least 30 hours now, and I've only been able to get about half the game done. So there is definitely some stuff that is missing, and I'll just point it out as I kind of go through. But if I had a little bit more time, I know for sure I'd be able to code this in there. So to begin with, we have this how to play, which is missing the actual instructions itself. So I'll go over that while we're in the game. I just didn't get to it. There was more important stuff to focus on. So this would show you all the instructions for everything in the game. It would tell you the controls. It would tell you the color, what the colors mean based on level, and the sizes mean based on level. And so now if we go back and start game, I can explain those. So you start off right here, and you start off as this black square right here. So this right here is also an enemy that spawns. And if I had a little bit more time, these would be moving towards you, and there would be an algorithm that would bring these would basically chase you. And if this color right here or the size is greater than yours or equal, the enemies actually can kill you instantly, which will bring you to a game over screen. Which if I go over here, just demonstrate that really quick. Game over screen. It's a little broken right now, so I'm just gonna click this right here and then close this, which brings us back to here. That was a little thing I was working on towards the end of when I was working on this before it was due. And so this right here, these are the power-ups. So these are always going to be, so these are set to so these are your player level. And so this is right now player level 0, as you can see. So this right here, this which is a level up, is technically level 1, and it's always going to be one level above it unless it goes out of the scope of range. So if I hit this, it turns me green. So now you see how I can change between different colors and sizes based on these upgrades, and there'll be a new one that randomly spawns over here. I still would get killed by him right here, but because he is the same color and equal size. So if I start game again, if you didn't notice, right here in the timer, you actually have a time limit. So depending on what you are you can be at this, I guess whatever level you're at, you can be that for about 20 seconds. After the 20 seconds is up, I'll just let this run through. This will actually change back to the little black square that we were looking at. So 2, 1, and it will say -1. That's a little minor fix. It's literally just changing one number. All right, and then as you can see, that right here is changed back. So now if we go hit this, we can go and we can keep leveling up. So if we have blue, so this isn't coded, but since I am a blue square, and if I hit this green, I'm not going to do it because it would break the game. But if I was to hit the actual green square right there, it would give me a score, and my score would go up in this area right here. And that would carry over to that game over screen once you actually do die. And so you can go all the way up to red. And red is the max, and no more of those orbs will spawn. So that's why this timer comes in handy, because it brings you back down. You have to get those orbs again. And how I wanted to go about spawning in the enemies was if your player level is okay, so the current enemies that spawn when you first start, which are going to be here. Actually, let me show the code for that. All right, so if we go to MadLine, and we're just going to do into form, and if we go to view code, which is something I want to show as well as the pause menu. I forgot about that, so I'll get back to that in a second. All right, so what was I going through? So I'm trying to find the, oh yeah, okay. So here we go. So if we have our enemies, so we have enemy, player, and then we have our enemy and player levels themselves. So say the player is 0, and that means that the enemies themselves can spawn. So if we go to the enemy spawn over here, this is right here is going to spawn us a new enemy. It's going to put it in a random location. Right now it's just we have hard value set in there just for testing purposes. But these would periodically spawn in between these values right here, which is always going to be 1, and then it's going to be 1 plus, so the enemy level times 5. So, and it will spawn over a couple of those, but I needed to build out the algorithm, and I just ran out of time on that, so. And then I also wanted to, let's go back in the game, is if we had all those enemies coming in, so yeah, they would keep coming in, but I also wanted to make it even more challenging by implementing a maze, which was the original idea, was to put in a maze type, not a complete maze where there's one entrance and one exit. There'd be multiple entrances and multiple exits, but it would be more of like an obstacle course, I guess. And so they would make it a little bit more challenging, go through here, and the enemies would come, follow from behind or attack you. And oh, and then one more thing is, if these enemies were lower level, they would run away from you. But they would try to sneak up on you. So they would, if you were going one direction, they would try to go, they would try to sneak up behind you and then get you from behind. But if you start going towards them, they'll run away from you because they know that you can kill them. And then the last thing is just the pause menu that I wanted to get back to. So we have a little simple pause menu that's actually assigned to the escape characters, or escape character. And so these actually completely work. So I can click resume and I can click main menu, and that brings me back to main menu. So or you can just close this and that brings you back to main menu as well. But that's pretty much the general overview of my game. But yeah, thank you for the whole semester. I actually really enjoyed it, and I hope to take another class with you during my my career in computer science.